Testing 1, 2, 3. Here.
Mr. Green, Mr. Moore,
Here.
Mr. Kehoe,
Present.
Mr. Harris.
Here.
Chair Robbins.
I am here and I'm running this meeting remotely, so via Zoom.
Staff participating in the meeting include CEO Santos Kryman, Deputy CEO Louis Lugo, AEOs JJ Popowich and Laura Guglielmo, Chief Counsel Stephen Rice, Legislative Affairs Officer Barry Liu, Cassandra Smith, Director Retiree Healthcare, Consultants Stephen Murphy, Richard Ward, Michael Zito, and Debbie Donaldson from Siegel. Trustees, please use the raise your hand Zoom option to be placed in queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute your mics until you are ready to speak, and we may now proceed with the agenda.
Call to order is done. Item 2, procedure for teleconference meeting attendance under 2449. I guess that's me, correct?
It's you and Trustee Moore.
Oh, okay.
And is there no one 18 years or older with either of you at your location?
There is no one 18 or older at my location yet, only because my home health care nurse has not arrived, but she will arrive in about an hour and a half. So It's just me and the dogs.
And Mr. Moore?
Well, my wife is in the house.
But she's not in the room with you.
No.
Okay, thank you. We can now continue with the agenda.
Thank you very much. So we can't vote on anything, so should we skip 3A, approval of the minutes then?
We should have.
Yes.
All right, we'll go to 4, public comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address the committee?
I have nothing.
Thank you, neither do I. We are on reports, item 5A. We will start with the state engagement. Mr. Liu, it is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Robbins and trustees. So this is just a short report of a visit that Chief Executive Santos Kryman, Deputy Chief Executive Officer Louis Lugo, and I made last month to the California State Legislature. You can see the list of legislators we visited. They included leaders of the retirement committees in both the Assembly and the Senate. We basically educated them on, who LACERA was, and we also highlighted the economic study impact study that we did a couple of years ago, just showing that, more than half of our retirees basically just remain in California, which continues to reap the economic benefits of their pensions. And then we also highlighted AB 2474, a bill that contains our prepaid card proposal. We met with the author of the bill to express our gratitude for him authoring the bill, and also just educated the rest of the legislators as to why we needed that provision. And so overall, it's a very positive meeting. I remember we met even with the Assembly Committee consultant, and he was very appreciative of the fact that LACERA makes regular visits to the legislators. And so that's basically our report for our positive and productive visit. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Barry? Good, thank you. We're on to item B, Barry.
So some items of interest this month. The first item concerns a survey by Northwestern Mutual that talks about the amount of money that Americans think they need to retire comfortably versus the reality of how much they have actually saved. So it's about an average of 1.4 million that people expect to have a comfortable retirement in, and that's increase from 951,000 back in 2020. So you can see there's a breakdown of across generations in terms of what they expect they need for a comfortable retirement versus the reality of what they actually saved. So a bit of a mismatch there. One of the things is that Gen Z, turns out, is starting to save earlier on average at age 22 compared to other generations. But the other thing is they also, many of them also expect to live to 100. So again, it's that expectations between how long you live versus how much money you expect to have to live that long. Next item is another survey about Americans and their, degree of retirement fluency. So the TIA Institute did a survey that, and I guess their questions the correct percentage has remained at about 48% since 2017. One of the key topics involves people's understanding of Medicare and longevity in terms of healthcare. So there's some struggle that respondents have had in terms of how much they understand about Medicare and its rate of coverage and so forth. So the survey, suggests a strong correlation between retirement fluency and retirement income security. So it sort of implies that more financial education is needed. The next item is about progress that's being made in the state-run auto IRAs. Many states have started, programs, and so the latest state that has created one is Washington State, and their program is scheduled to launch in January 2027. Very similar in structure. There's automatic enrollment and there's automatic escalation of their default percentages. So this will basically cover, state employee or employees in the state that don't have access to a retirement program. And Washington joins about 18 other states that are expanding retirement coverage this way, which includes in the next item Vermont, which is also starting this program. But what's interesting is Vermont, as a small state, they're partnering with Colorado, a larger state that has an established program. And apparently there's a consortium that's being formed with Vermont, as well as Maine and Delaware, smaller states that are partnering with larger states such as Colorado to launch these programs. And then lastly, an item out of Bakersfield in terms of some concerns from the city about the increase in pension costs on city budgets. So they cited, PEPRA, which we're all familiar with, that has saved the state and local governments about $55 billion. But because PEPRA only applies to new employees, some of those savings are slower to materialize. And Bakersfield estimates that starting from 2021, their pension costs of 60 million would rise to about 96 million in 2031 before declining. So that's been of some concerns with the city. The other thing that they're dealing with is vacancies, which a lot of local government agencies are dealing with. But at the same time, addressing vacancies could also increase pension costs. So there's some balancing acts to be done there. So that concludes my report, and happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions for Barry on that? Good luck, Bakersfield.
Just one question, Barry. This IRA, is this going to be, are they going to make businesses do this? If you have a certain number of employees,
Yes,
go those numbers?
That's correct. If a business doesn't otherwise sponsor a retirement plan, then they would have to enroll their employees in the state-run plan. And generally, it depends on a minimum number of employees that the business has.
And that they will have to contribute towards that IRA, or is that just going to be self-contributed?
Only the employees are contributing, so there's no matching that's required of the businesses.
That's interesting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Les, we have Vivian now, so we can vote on the earlier item. If you want me to make a motion for that, the approval of the minutes of the April 3rd meeting.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes.
On meeting.
Carrie?
Ms. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe,
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Chair Robbins.
I'm an aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Sean. You beat me to the punch. Staff activities report, item C, Cassandra?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. A couple of weeks ago, we held our return of the Staying Healthy Together, our wellness event for our retirees. We held it at the Almanzar Court in Alhambra. We had approximately a little over 550 attendees this year, many of them their first time, all expressing their thank and appreciation for the event. I wanted to give a special thank you to both Lewis and Santos, who came out to welcome the retirees back with us and reconnecting with them, as well as Leilani for spearheading the event along with Siegel to make the event occur. Thanks to retiree healthcare staff as well as member services staff that actually attended and communicated and interacted with our retirees. That's it.
How the hell you do this?
I talked to a couple of people that went, they thought it was great. I apologize, I had a doctor's appointment I could not change that day, so I could not make it, so.
So, see if you can open it.
Any other comments or questions for Cassandra? I guess we're on to item D. One of our favorite subjects. Claims experience.
Good morning, trustees. The first slide contains the medical, dental, and vision plans by premium and enrollment. The distribution of premium and membership is consistent with the prior report. Next slide, please. This exhibit contains the plan experience for non-Medicare plans. On a rolling 12-month basis, the Anthem's year-over-year trend represents a 4.5% increase as of March 2024, which is a 1.6 percentage point increase from last month's report. For Cigna, the year-over-year trend represents a 8.4% increase. This is the April report. Do we have the May? Okay, that's fine. So for Cigna, the year-over-year trend represents an 8.4% increase as of March 2024, which is a 2.2 percentage point increase from last month's report. And for Kaiser, the plan experience remains unchanged from the prior report and will be updated in a future report. The next exhibit contains the Anthem's claims experience by plan. For all plans, the 12-month rolling trend represents a 6.1% increase as of March 2024, which is a 0.3 percentage point increase from last month's report. For non-Medicare plans, which includes plans 1, 2, and prudent buyer, the medical and pharmacy claims distribution on a per retiree per month basis is approximately 70% for medical and 30% for pharmacy. We're on slide 4 of 7. Thank you. And for Plan 3, which is a Medicare supplement plan, the medical and pharmacy claims distribution on a per retiree per month basis is approximately 30% for medical and 70% for pharmacy. Next slide, please. Thank you. This contains, go back. The Kaiser.
Can we go back one page?
Thank you. Thank you. This contains the Kaiser utilization, and the Kaiser utilization remains unchanged from the prior month report and will be updated in the future report. Next slide, please. This contains the large high-cost claimants report for Anthem, Cigna, and Kaiser. For Anthem's non-Medicare plan, the 12-month rolling trend as of March 2024 represents a 23.3% decrease compared to the prior period. This is due to a nearly $1 million decline in large claim activity. For Cigna's 12-month rolling trend, which represents a 5.1% increase from the prior period, this plan is subject to fluctuations due to a smaller enrollment and a mature population. Next slide, please. This exhibit contains the prescription drug rebates and remains unchanged and will be updated in a future report. Next slide, please. This contains the dental and vision claims experience. So dental and vision increased year over year. However, compared to the prior report, it's still slightly lower than last month's year over year trend increase. Thank you.
Can you just talk about one thing, that 90 or that 80% and that $1 million, is that because some of the people have rolled up to the $1 million and have had to change plans? Is that why there's such a large decrease?
You're talking about large claim exhibit. Yeah, so in the prior period, people have reached that $1 million threshold, and then in the current period, those $1 million individuals have.
And they're going someplace. How many of those, Cassandra, did we have reach the $1 million?
I have to get.
Roughly.
For this year so far, 3 people.
And how many more people are approaching that $1 million?
We have quite a few people that are within the 500,000 up to $1 million.
Talking 15, 20, 25, roughly?
Maybe 10 or so.
Okay, have we sent those numbers? Or
I
sent?
know both Santos and Lewis have met with a couple of the board offices and have shared the volume of people that are reaching that lifetime maximum. We're still working quite closely with them to try to get them to remove the million. There are follow-up information that the county did request as of yesterday, which basically is the same question that you're asking, how many people have reached that million? And so I think altogether from 2014 till current, there's been approximately 40 people altogether.
How have you handled the transformation going from one plan to another, and has that worked out okay?
What we do is we get a listing from Anthem. When the members enter, it was 600,000, we've now made it 500,000. They'll send us a listing over. We reach out to those members, sending them a letter, letting them know, hey, if you're reaching your lifetime max, keep an eye on it, let us know so we can help you transition over to the medical plans. For the most part, those that are in California, we are able to get them into another plan. However, it's those individuals that have since moved themselves from California, that are living outside of California, that we're starting to see there's no benefit available to them because there's no plan available.
So what are they doing? They have to buy it individually?
A couple of the people I know decided to go and purchase Medicare themselves. And so they're paying the Medicare premiums for both Part B as well as A because they weren't eligible for it. And then there's a few that I'm sure that have found coverage themselves outside of receiving county subsidy.
Thank you, Cassandra.
Any other questions? Federal legislation?
Good morning, trustees. Included in your packet is an overview from Siegel's compliance team discussing some of the final regulations issued related to the Inflation Reduction Act. And a particular consequence is the changes in the Medicare Part D plan. So overall, those that are purchasing Medicare Part D plans, which are independent of LACERA's pharmacy program, are being improved, reducing member out-of-pockets. As an example, the maximum out-of-pocket for a member would be $2,000 in a given year for that. So the implications are that we'll be doing some review of LACERA's pharmacy program to ensure that it remains consistent with the objectives and also remains eligible for retiree drug subsidies, which Michael just touched on and Cassandra's talked about in the past meetings about what we receive back in reimbursements that help fund the overall program. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that, but we've got some work ahead of us.
Anyone have any questions? Does that conclude your report, Steve?
It does.
Thank you very much. We're on item 6, items for staff review. Are there any?
I have nothing.
Items for future agendas?
I have nothing on
I
that.
do.
Okay,
A suggestion for our future agenda, and I guess it would refer to Barry. I think I just sent you an email just now, so if you haven't seen it, it's okay. But it has to do with the Taxpayer Protection and Government Accountability Act. It is a ballot initiative that could possibly affect our fund. We have to look at that. That might be something that you want to talk to SACR's legislative committee about. When I brought it up before to Eric Stern, no one seemed to know about it. I didn't either. However, it is an initiative that CalPERS has taken a very strong opposed position on. So my question would be, is this something that we need to be concerned about? Should LACERA and the other 20 systems in SACR's take a position on it, or what is their position? How does it affect our fund? So I think it's something that we need to discuss perhaps at the next meeting.
Yes, I'll agendize that for discussion.
Okay, and I sent you all the specifics, including the initiative itself and the language and the legislative analysis.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
thanks, Vivian. Hope it's not bad stuff.
I don't think it affects us because we are so well run, but we need to know.
Okay. We're on good of the order, item 8. Does anyone have anything for good of the order? Well, I'll just chime in real briefly. I apologize for not being there. A quick story back in February. While undergoing a routine medical exam, I was infected with an E. coli bacteria, which has turned out to be extremely antibiotic resistant. I've been through 3 oral antibiotics, none of them work. So now I'm on an IV antibiotic, and tomorrow was my last of 15 sessions of getting something called ertapenem sodium pumped into my arm. So I'm hoping that this works, because it's basically, women can relate to this better than men, but it's a UTI is what I've got. So men don't get those too often. I never had one. I've had one now. I don't ever want to get another one. So, but be aware of the fact that there's an awful lot of bugs out there now that the antibiotics are struggling to control. And this is probably going to become just a bigger and bigger issue. So hopefully after next week, when we go through another test and I'm done with this stuff worked. I mean, I feel a lot better. It looked like the symptoms are gone. Problem was, after the first 3 antibiotics, when I stopped taking the antibiotics, the bug came back. So I'm hoping that don't happen this time. Anyway, with nothing else, we can accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.
9 o'clock start.